class back there, so I'm going to try not to be too crazy loud, but here we go. On mine, there's just dust everywhere because I've done 2 fingers, and this is only 2 fingers. Your table might be dusty for the same reason, so watch your arms as you put your elbows down, which is why we roll sleeves all the way past the elbows. All right, my lovelies, today we are going to correct, right? So we learn how to use the cut tool. We learn how to do the form and apply on the form. You did the French tip, two-tone application. We applied and we left it as so, okay? I've created mistakes so that today, if you have these mistakes, you can see what it looks like. You can point them out. And I'm going to show you what the mistakes are, why they happen, how to avoid them, and how to fix them. When you leave, you're going to have a nail. This one still has one of the mistakes, but a nail like this. Nice and shiny, the French tip. Okay? We're going to do the white one together. We did Wednesday together, and then you're going to do your glitter one on your own. Okay? All right, and this one doesn't stick very well, so let me add a little bit more sticky tack. So, if you have your clear, fabulous, and if not, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You don't have to put the clear on top at the end if you don't have it. If you have it, it's great. Okay. There we go. All right, so let's take a look. We are going to, as you're filing, if you feel like the nail tip keeps popping out, just like I did, put more sticky tack in it and it'll stick for you, okay? All right, so we're going to file to fix our mistakes, okay? That is why we file at the end and smooth it out. Difference between a DIY, YouTube, university nail tech and professional nail tech is that the professional nail tech will not let the nail get to this point. Look at my nail. You're like, Miss Ramirez cannot do nails? What is that, right? Yeah, a nail tech that doesn't know what they're doing, this will happen. If yours looks like this, good, you've done it once, okay? It should look like this, okay? But someone that does it regularly and their nails still look something like this and they got to spend 30 minutes fixing their mistake, that's not a professional nail tech. The professional nail tech will fix the mistake before it cements in place, right? So, we're going to go through all the mistakes. Just like we read a book, we're going to start from the top, go to the bottom, from the left to the right. If you can remember that, I promise you, your process is going to be faster. Time is money, right? First things first. Cuticle. I'm going to use my little brush as my pointer, okay? Okay, so with our cuticle, you're going to take the finger sideways, and you're going to roll and rotate like this, okay? What you are looking for is a ramp. You are looking for from the bed of the nail, which is the surface of the nail, to the acrylic connection point. You want a wheelchair to be able to roll up seamlessly. No problems. Okay? You can look at both of your fingers while we're going through each one. Okay? We talked about this before. So, before we talked about a step, right? Straight up and straight across. Like there's a huge step. We talked about filing it down to make a ramp. Some of you guys still have a ramp. That have a ramp. That's great. But you still have too high of a bump. So take your finger and flick it like this. If you can flick it like and your fingernail gets stuck, that bump is still too high. Fake nails need to look real. Women are weird, right? We put hair on hair and lashes on lashes and nails on nails, and right? That's weird, right? If you think about it. It should look like acrylic nails. I was born with them. So, you're going to take your file and we're going to file that down, okay? We're going to take our file and press down, rotate the finger, and as we're filing, we're pushing the pressure, going back and forth, and with the pressure that we have, slowly, we are getting rid of the bump. We're making it look like she was born with these nails. Like they are part of her human anatomy. They should not look fake, right? That's the point of an extension or a nail enhancement. It should make it look better. It should not make it look fake. You're going to brush downward. Okay? It should blend with her finger. If your file gets stuck, okay, that means that there is a gap and you need to file that down. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about the cuticle area. Let me fix this here. Let's talk about the cuticle area. With the cuticle area, it is also incredibly important to make sure that you do it correctly. Alright, so here's some things to look out for in the cuticle. When you look at the bird's eye view, bird flying on the top of the head, looking down, look at the smile line. The smile line at the cuticle area, right, or frowny face, if you will, or a rainbow, whichever, it should be smooth. It should be even. It should be even like a rainbow, right? So here, if I split my nail down the middle, can you see that my acrylic application was up high here? And then down here, it's down low. Did I apply correctly on the cuticle? No. So as I'm filing, I'm like, uh-oh. I did all right over here, but on this side, uh-oh. I have a big gap. How do I fix that? You take a bead of acrylic, you put some more acrylic on, pat it down, let it harden, and then file. Okay? It's a whole other situation if you've already started buffing and dust is everywhere and it can lift off, it's 2 layers, it chips off, it's not good. So, before you finish setting, before you start doing all the filing, if you need to fill in a hole, put another bead of acrylic, blend your beads in, and fill in the hole before you start filing. This is wrong. This is better. It's still wrong. Why? It's got a gap right here. And on the edge, it's not connected to the edge. So it's still not correct. The cuticle area is the utmost important part of the nail. Okay? Because when it comes to corrections, it's the hardest part to correct. Why? Because you can cut your client. Okay? Here's another thing. Let's take a look at this nail. This is the tip here is the mantle, okay? And then I have my acrylic down here. In between the mantle and the acrylic, I can see my nail bed. It's exposed. My nail bed is this top part of the nail. It's exposed. Let's look at this one. This is not shiny yet. Here's my mantle. Here's my nail bed. Nail plate. And then this is my acrylic. You can see the C shape right here. You have 2 options when you're starting out. One, you can leave a gap between the skin and the acrylic and leave some nail plate exposed. Your results of that is that it's going to adhere, it's going to stick. Water's not going to get in between there because it sticks to the nail plate. When she shampoos her hair's not going to get stuck in here because you're not going to have lifting. Bad thing is that it looks like it's grown out. And as her nail grows out, it's going to look really grown out. But it's not going to lift. No bacteria can get under there. No water, no moisture can get stuck and start growing mold and fungus and stuff. Okay? Option 2. I don't want to see a gap when I'm starting out. I'm going to take my acrylic and boy, I'm going to put that sucker right up to the skin. And you're putting that acrylic right on that skin. Or even over it, right? Sometimes we kind of go over it. That's your second option. Here's your result. What sticks to skin? Nothing. Is that acrylic going to stick to the skin? No. First 2 hand washes, what's going to happen? The water's going to get where? In between the skin and the acrylic. Water starts getting in. When she shampoos, her hair gets caught. As she's eating, wiping her butt, changing a diaper, putting her hands everywhere their hands go, bacteria is going to hide underneath that hole. And she's going to start having lifting. Worst case scenario, bacteria infections, all those things. Okay? So you have 2 options. Leave a space, be safe, or right up to the skin and know it's going to pop off. Okay? Those are your 2 options when you're starting. Okay? Alright, we did the cuticle area. You should have a little like rainbow arch at the cuticle. Start on the top. We're going to work our way down to the bottom. We go from left to right. So, take your file and hold your file like so. The finger gets in the way. We're learning, so let's take the nail off real quick. Okay, we're going to hold the nail. Bless you. We're going to hold the file like so. And I'm not wearing my mask because you can't hear me through the thing with the mask on. It's hard to hear. You should have it, okay? We'll talk about that in a second. Don't let me forget. Because I was supposed to talk about that first. So we're going to put our file here. Our file is not making a connection between the file and the natural nail. You see that big old gap? That is wrong. So when you can identify that, I have a gap, we need to know and understand why is there a gap. So this white acrylic should line up like this to my natural nail. There should be no gap. So everything underneath that line, that's extra acrylic. That should not be there. Why is it there? The reason why it's there is because it indicates that my form got pushed down. Either wasn't applied correctly or it got pushed down as I was tapping my acrylic down. So when I tap my acrylic down, what happens is that because it continues to self-level until it hardens, it's seeped underneath. Look at the other side. Holy moly. I don't even know what happened there. There's a massive gap. That means that because there's less here, more here, my form was crooked. Remember how I made my form crooked? So when I pinched my butterfly wings, it really threw it off. Super important that that form is even. Let's look at the bottom. Do you remember how I had you cut this nail in a kind of coffin shape? Okay, can you see the coffin shape? You should be able to. If you can't see the coffin shape and you see white covering that brown nail tip, that means that acrylic seeped underneath the sticker, the form, and it shouldn't have. How to avoid it? Make sure you have a good connection. Don't manhandle when you're tapping over the form. So, we got to get rid of that. Because don't you, when you get home, turn your nails over and look at the bottom of your nail? You can't pretend you don't see that and let your client leave. So, take your nail file. We're going to file the sides in a second. Don't get ahead, okay? We're going to get there in a second. Take the bottom of the nail. Take your file. Remove all of the acrylic under the nail. That's not supposed to be there. Because you can't send her home like that. So, carefully. Now remember, right now you're holding the nail, but you're holding the finger on the hand, right? Take the file and do the best you can to remove the acrylic. And you should expose all of the brown bottom of the tip. Because that acrylic is not supposed to be there. Now after a while, that corner of the file dies out. There's no more grit. So you have to use another corner. So flip your file over and get rid of as much as you can. Now, where are you, Allison? On the bottom on the bottom. Okay, I promise you we're going to get there. I promise. Okay, so you're using a flat file on a curved surface. Does that match? No. The good thing about using a file is that you can control the pressure. Whether you're going fast or slow, a lot or a little. How's it going for you? It's not going, right? Because you can't. Difference between a DIY YouTube nail tech and a professional nail tech is a professional nail tech does not allow this to happen. Why? Because as she's patting down the acrylic, she flips the hand over while the acrylic is still pliable. If she sees there's acrylic at the bottom, she picks it out, either with the back of the brush or that metal scoop, before it gets hard like cement. Because now, I'm done. My nails, all 10, look like this. How long is this going to take you to get rid of that? Then you got to do it on all 10 fingers. I've already spent 2 hours with her. My next client is sitting there waiting. My DoorDash lunch is cold. I got a potty. My husband's waiting for me for a dinner date at home. Right? You are wasting time fixing your mistakes. Just fix them before they become mistakes. It's okay for this to happen. Just, it's not okay for you to leave it. Yeah? Okay. How to avoid that? Don't manhandle the form. Make sure there's a good connection between the nail and the form. Okay. How do you fix it? Not like this. Never. Unfortunately, you have to pull your drill out. I forgot to tell second period. Bring your nail drills next week. Okay? Somebody remind me to send an email, okay? Bring your nail drills. The nail drill is a barrel. And it's this in a barrel form. And it's round. And so you turn your nail drill on and you go zzz, and it's done. Fast, easy, no big deal. But if you don't have control of your form, of your drill and know how to use it, take your thumb right now. Take your file. Put your file against your thumb. Press down with some pressure and file with the edge of your file. File your skin. Now go faster and more pressure. Faster and more pressure until you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to cut my finger. That didn't move very fast. Now the barrel of a drill, it goes like this. Right? It spins really fast. Now imagine, right? You are more likely to cut your client using a drill than a file, which is why you just try to avoid the drill. We'll talk about drills later and the love-hate relationship I have with them and why you shouldn't use them, but for now, just know that's how you fix that. Okay? Questions? Okay. All right. We did the top. We're going to the bottom. So we're going to do the sides. We need to, now if you put it on your finger, we're learning. The finger is bulky. It's in the way. We're going to have to take it off because this is not going to work. Okay? So hold your finger. Put your file next to the nail. The file should be parallel with the natural nail. There should be no gap. So any acrylic under that, we need to remove it. So be careful, don't cut yourself, but go ahead and file off the excess acrylic that we have on the bottom of the nail, just the bottom, because that acrylic went to the bottom of the nail. Okay, so we're just getting rid of excess acrylic. You're pushing up with your finger. All right, now look, I'm putting my file against, and now it matches. There's no gap. Well, I have a little gap. I'm going to tell you why the little gap is there in a minute. But we have a straight line. Okay? If you need to see, use your duster to dust off. Now that we have removed that excess acrylic from the bottom and we have somewhat of a parallel straight line here, we are now going to take the nail bird's eye view, hold the file on the side of the nail. Remember, not tilted out, not tilted in, tilted straight up. The pink part of the file should be parallel to the ceiling and the floor. And we're going to just go up and down, up and down, up and down to make a sharp, straight, oh, I thought I broke it, sharp, straight line on the side of the nail. We are not removing natural nail. So the brown part, you shouldn't be filing. If you are filing and you start to do this, you start to scratch or expose the natural nail, too much. Doing too much, because you're hurting the client now. You're taking nail away. We're working on only, when you only file acrylic. You don't file natural nail with this file. Oops, sorry, spit. This is too rough for the natural nail. Flip it over to the other side. Put your nail file against the nail. Holy moly, that's uneven, but a lot, like even more than the other side. Like, how did that happen? The reason why one side is more than the other is because when I put my form on and I pinched the butterfly wings, it was crooked. Because it was lopsided, my form was lopsided, so there's more acrylic deposited on this side than the other side. So go ahead and take your file, from the bottom and remove as much of that acrylic as you possibly can. Remember, watch yourself. Don't cut your own fingers. Pay attention to how much dust gets collected on your fingers as you're doing this. Look and pay attention to your mat and see how much dust is on your mat. All of that acrylic that you are filing off is turning into dust. There is a plume of dust around you, like a little mushroom of dust around you. This is why we do not eat, we do not drink anything. We put a mask on. If we don't have a mask, we're not sitting there with our mouths open. I can feel it on my tongue because I'm talking. Okay? For those of you that have glasses, perfect. You are one step, but you're good. Because the glasses protect your eyes. Eyelashes, y'all keep filing the sides. When you're done with the sides, just hold tight. Your eyelashes, they protect your eyes, right? You're outside, you feel the wind blowing in your face, and you kind of blink, and those lashes protect the hole, right, that holds your eyeball. Look right now, feel right now, you're not really blinking. All that dust is coming up, it's going into your eyeball. Nail techs have issues with dry eyes and scratchy eyes because all that dust is falling, it's getting in there. If I'm like hee hee ha ha ha, and my mouth is all open like I'm talking, I literally can feel the grit in my tongue. Okay? Kind of want to spit, but we're gonna go with it. Here's another thing. When you're doing your table setup for your station, okay, we have the two air vents, yeah? The air vents, they suck the air out of the room. Okay, so if you can imagine imaginary arrows, all of the air in the room is getting sucked that direction. I am perfect right now because I am filing that I have this plume of dust. And what direction is the dust going? That way. What about you? You're turned around. The dust is going that way. The dust is going to your face. Does that make sense? So, I do this all day, every day. I want the dust to go away from me. It's going to go towards my client. Bleh, one time, 1 month, she won't die. Me, all day, every day for years. I have nail tech friends, and let me tell you, wear your glasses, put your mask on, pay attention to the airflow. Okay. If you don't wear glasses, buy fake glasses that just have a lens and wear them just when you're doing nails. Okay? All right, so I didn't get to do this like I was talking about. We did the sides, right? Okay. Then, working our way to the bottom, hold the nail, put the nail back on the finger so we can practice, right? We're going to hold from the bottom and hold from the top to hold the nail in place. If not, it's going to do this and you're ripping the nail. That's not good. Okay? So we're going to hold perpendicular. I forgot my term. And we're going to go back and forth to make a ballerina shoe. You've seen ballerina shoes, right? They stand on their tippy tip. We're going to make a tippy tip. Okay? Side to side, parallel. Open up your armpits. All right, take the nail like this. Put the file like this. Match it up. I'm matching mine right here. Is mine right? Is it parallel? Is it perpendicular? Nope. Look at my angle. Everybody look at the screen for 2 seconds. This is how it matches up. This is where it should be. Do you see that angle? So when I file the tippy tip, I cannot expose the top of the file. I cannot expose the bottom. I should only be looking at the top pink part of the file. It should be parallel with the ceiling and the floor. And so that's how you check it. You turn the finger sideways, you put it here, and that's how you make your ballerina tip. Okay? Dust off just to get you some fresh vision there. Working our way from the top to the bottom. We did the sides. Don't forget the bottom. I like to use the flat side against the skin. Not that I'm touching the skin, but so that way I know where I'm at. I'm going to take it and I'm going to file the bottom like so. I can also hold it away from me or towards me. Now, look at it like it's going to poke you in the eyeball. I don't know if you can see it well, but on this side it's thicker, this side it's thinner, and it's kind of slanting to my right because my form was wrong. It was crooked. If your form is crooked, your nail is going to be crooked. So if I were to take my straw and I put it in here, It's not like a perfect rainbow arch. So, if one leg of your rainbow arch is longer than the other, your application was wrong because your form was wrong. So put your file underneath, flat side to the client, and then go back and forth slowly to even out your arch. And you should have an arch. So when you put your file underneath like this, you should have a nice even arch right there. Mine is crooked because my form was crooked. That form, when you're building acrylic, is super important to do the forms right. Okay, so now we've done all the perimeters. Now we're going to do the surface. I am going to turn this nail into this smile line. And you're like, Mr. Mayor, she just threw it on there, and like, that's not even where the French is. Too much white, there's too much product. That's okay. Because I use a cookie cutter, and I cut the smile line where the pink was, and I filled the rest with the white. Even if I extend past it, which typically I recommend you do, or even if I put too much, I'm going to expose that smile line because I cookie cut it into the shape. So start on the left, work your way to the right from the top to the bottom. So here we go. From the top, rotate my finger to the left, to the right. Left to the right. Scoot down a little bit, left to the right, until you get to the point where your pink meets your white. Where your pink meets your white, stay on the left side until you expose your smile line. I'm going to do just my left side until I expose my smile line. I like to file and then let go. File, 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 let go. File, 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 let go. Because I want to see where I'm at, what I'm doing, and I don't want to overdo it. Because you can. It's very easy to add a gash to your nail if you hold it in the wrong angle. Alright, so I'm doing just the left side. I'm stopping in the middle. The great thing about using a file is that you can control the pressure. So here we go. I'm going to dust off. Now look at my nail real quick, whatever you're doing. Ah, there's my cut line. Very sharp. Right? It's very sharp. It's very defined. Why? Because I use a cookie cutter. No matter how much white I put on top, when I file that white off, that perfect match, that perfect line is going to show up. So work your way towards the middle of the nail, filing off, and then kind of dusting off and giving yourself a quick look break. A look break means that you stop and look what you're doing. If you have any gashes,
9:30, ADA attendance reminder.
You can stop them before you finish messing up the nail. So, okay, I'm going to pause, I'm going to dust off, and I'm going to look. Now you can see that smile line starting to show up. Yeah? You're going to work your way to the right side of the nail, top to bottom, left to right, just like you read a book. Or, to just kind of throw it out there, sometimes we pray to the heavens above for help because we screwed it up so bad, and you're like doing the sign of the cross, like, Diosito, please help me, right? Top to bottom, left to right. Please help me because I messed it up so bad. I hope that if I file right, it's going to come out right. Right? And there we go. There's your smile line. Now, if when you're filing, now can you see right here, my smile line is not a correct smile line. Can you see that little gap right there? It's not a perfect smile. Why? Because when I use my cut tool, or when I came in with my scraper to scrape off, I pushed my pink and I messed up my smile line and my pink, making a hole. So when I put my white in, my white filled in the hole, and I no longer have a perfect smile line. I have a jagged smile line. So this little gap right here, that's what happened. This little unevenness, that's what happened. On this side, what happened here? I don't even have acrylic right here. I can see the nail tip right here. My pink is over here. My white is over here. My excess acrylic is down here. Dang, I really messed this one up. How do I avoid it? Make sure you apply the form correctly. Don't manhandle the form. How do you fix it? Fix it before it gets hard. If you're filing, you're like, oh, I gotta fix it. Dust off as best as you can. Take a bead of acrylic, put it on there, fix it, let it dry, fix it best you can with your file. Not the best thing to do. Sometimes that's layered acrylic and it chips off, doesn't adhere well. Fix things before you start filing. Okay? I'm going to make a mistake that I kind of didn't do very good on this one, so don't do what I do. Do what you do. Go ahead and keep filing. File the white. I need to make my gash more evident. Don't do what I do. File, file, file. There we go. All right. Let's say you have a gap. Okay, so from the cuticle to the tip, when you put your finger over, it should be smooth. Okay, from the sides, when you look at it from the side, it should bevel down. When you look at it from the other side, uh-oh, I have a gap. There's this gap right here. Okay? It like super dips down. Why? Because my form was crooked. I manhandled my form. I pressed too hard. When I pressed too hard, my acrylic seeped down. It's self-leveling until it hardens completely, and it kept flowing down into the bottom of the form. So then it sunk. So this is, and I had to kind of fake it, this one. You see this one right here? This gap? It's sunk down because I pushed my form down. So I didn't fix it, and it got hard. How do I fix that? Add a bead of acrylic. But if you had to, all you have to do is keep filing and file it to smooth it out. You're going to smooth out to make a ramp. Now, sometimes, and let me see if I can make it happen, but I have too much acrylic at the bottom, so I might not be able to. We'll see. Now I'll show you the other one. When you're filing down your ramp, sometimes you file the acrylic too much. And when you file the acrylic too much, the nail is too thin and it's brittle and it'll break. Okay, so you smooth that out, but let me show you on, which one was it? This one. Okay, so I fixed it, right? We got the nice, it kind of dipped down, but it smoothed out. On this one, it's too thin. So as she starts to grab things, that's a thin part of the nail and it's going to break off. It just is. Okay, so try to make sure you have an even application. After you've done all the filing, remember we have the cat scratches. We got to buff them out of the door. Take your buffer, starting from the top, going your way to the bottom, from the right to left. I'm sorry, left to right, left to right. You're creating a little bit more of a fine dust. Don't forget the tippy tip, the bottom, and the sides. Dust your hands off. Look at your belly. There's tons of dust on your belly. And the dust on your belly is because all of the filings. Okay? Brush, 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 brush. Brush the underneath. I know we're not supposed to touch the surface of the nail, but I want you to. I want you to dust off as best as possible. Put it on your stand so it doesn't touch the surface of the table. Dust some more because you're about to use your clear gel. Now, if you still see scratches, you need to buff some more. You can buff all the scratches off. If you still see, like right here, you see this little white dot right here and right here? That means that I still have acrylic, white acrylic I need to take off. So I need my file, take that off, and then I'm able to apply the gel. So once I'm happy, make sure it's nice and clean. Take my gel, drop off my dot, push up and go down the middle. Same thing on the right and the left. As you're applying your gel, do not forget to wipe the tippy tip. Turn the finger to the side. A lot of people always don't seal the nail, so make sure you get the tippy tips on the sides. If you look and you use the reflection of the light, a lot of times you can see that it's matte on the sides. Okay? So you've got to make sure that you have the gel, or if you don't have your gel, if you have your clear coat, that's fine. If you don't have either one, it's fine. That's not a problem. But that is how you're going to make your nails shiny. Okay? Questions? And then cure. Yes. All right, while you're curing, take your second finger that you did yesterday and give it to somebody. Your heart stops, your armpit starts beating. The glitter one. The one you did yesterday. If you did it, if you don't have it, it's okay. Switch with someone else. Switch with anybody. Now we're going to take a look at our partner's work. Not to criticize, not to say, oh my gosh, she doesn't know how to do nails. Look at this is a mess. No, because let's look at yours, okay? No, there's none over there that were perfect. Yesterday, today there's some good ones. So, I want you to look at someone else's work and I want you to identify what were the errors, understand how the errors happen, and I want you to be able to fix them. So you're going to fix your friend's nail. Be careful not to damage the skin. So if you want to take the nail tip off, I would do that so I don't ruin her finger. You're going to use your file and file her glitter nail from yesterday. Okay? Not to judge, not to make fun of, not to laugh, because let's look at yours, right? But to learn. Because sometimes maybe I went somewhere else and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate my nails. And I go, Milka, I look at you, Milka, I need you to fix my nails. She's not going to bash the other nail tech because that's the difference between a DIY YouTuber and a professional. You take your client in, you make her feel as comfortable as possible, her or him, and you just fix as best as you can. You just made a new client, but you don't bash the client or the nail tech because you might be that nail tech that messed up, right? Always keep in mind, maybe it was her first set of nails. And we all start there, okay? So, you're going to take that nail, you're going to file, you're going to buff, you're going to give it back to your partner, and then when you get your nail back, you can make adjustments and you can put your clear coat on top, if you have it. Questions? Alright, that's all we have for you today. Yes. Yeah, once you're through.